Hello, this is Nicholas Gonzalez of the SPARS team. Today we'll be talking about our user story 23. This is a feature document. We're gonna kind of go over it. This is a user story for the user should be able to reset the platform to restart the pawn to its default position. So idea is that maybe you flip over the car and you're stuck there. You want to restart. Should be an easy way. You click a button or type in a command and you're back in a starting position where you can test your vehicle. Okay, so let's go into the acceptance criteria. The function has a way to reset the pawn. The function will stop the RPC server and the RPC thread, and then the game will restart. And then the RPC server and the RPC thread need to restart. This kind of already happens because we set up the RPC server to end and begin with the game. And then finally, we want to reconnect the client to the RPC server so we can begin moving it without having to do any more commands. There should be one command, restarts everything, and you're reconnected after a second. Or maybe a bit more than a second, but after a bit you'll be all connected to it. So the use case is, can you restart simulation? Let me spell that properly actually. Here's the use case diagram. This is a bit larger one, but we want to be able to do it through input and to joystick and through like a text. Right now this story is really about the function, and there'll be another story about making sure that it works with a controller and a keyboard. Down here we have the sequence diagram, which is kind of complicated. This is one of the bit more functions that goes through a lot of different classes. So the user is going to have some input either through code or through a gamepad, a controller. It'll then call client call reset. The client calls this reset to the RPC server. The RPC server then has a task, something bound function from the pawn, and that function restarts the level. Once the game reloads, well, I forgot to mention up here the server would end. It starts a new RPC server, and then our client can reconnect, and that's it. All right, and same exact thing for code and for gamepad. Here's a class diagram. These are the only classes involved other than the the super classes from Unreal, which I did not write. So client, RPC server, and the Q7 pawn. All right, finally our unit test. So it's a pretty simple test. We're just going to start up the game and see if we can reset it without it crashing, with the RPC server restarting, with the client reconnecting. We got a screenshot there, but it's not really a great way to see it at all. So I'm just going to, in fact, this is another screenshot. There's no way to see a reset in a picture. So we'll see it in the video once I get to it. So first, let's look at the code. So this is mostly happening in the pawn and the RPC server task. So let's go into the pawn first. So I have a function called reset sim right there. This is really where the magic's happening. This get controller is basically the player controller class that's built into Unreal. So first thing I do is I end the RPC server, because since the game isn't fully stopping, I want to be able to stop the server so that if I make a new one, it doesn't crash the game. So we're going to cast our controller to our pawn to our controller, to our player controller. And then we just you can run a console command that restarts the level, and that's a built-in function into Unreal as well. So I'm just calling that, and just very important that I stop the task. All right, so once that's done, I went and we created a binding for it, if I can find it. And where are you? Oh, look, there it is, reset. Okay, so right here. So I basically bound that reset sim function into our RPC server, so then we can call it from our client. So why don't we give it a test? So let's start this. Let me get I'm gonna connect. Let's do it by code. So I'll type in reset. Actually, well, let's move the car a smidgen so that we know that it actually reset, right? So throttle 1. Car is moving. All right. Oh no, I flipped over. What am I gonna do? No worries, I can just reset. Type in reset. See, resetting game. If you give it a second or two, it'll reconnect. There you go, reconnected. Let's see if I can throttle again. You can see the game actually reset beautifully. Throttle 1. And look, there you go. It's moving, no problem. And we're back in business. So it's as simple as that. All right, that's everything for today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.